You didn't do anything today. No crisis, no drama. You just existed. Went to work, answered emails, maybe grabbed lunch, and now it's 7 p.m. and you're completely done. The people around you? Fine, already making plans. So you tell yourself you're just tired. But underneath that, a quieter thought. Am I just too much? Too sensitive? Here's what nobody told you. You weren't tired from doing nothing. You were tired from processing everything. There's a name for what you've been experiencing. Scientists call it sensory processing sensitivity, SPS. People with this trait are often called highly sensitive people, HSPs. Here's what surprises most people. About 1 in 5 people has this trait. That's a lot. This isn't rare, and it isn't a disorder. It's a real difference in how the nervous system processes information. Think of it like a radio receiver. Most people's systems pick up the strongest stations, the loud signals, the obvious ones. Yours is tuned wider. It picks up quieter frequencies, background noise, subtle shifts most people never notice. The hum of overhead fluorescent lights, a slight change in your manager's tone on a Monday morning Slack message, the tension at Thanksgiving dinner before anyone said a word. You're not imagining it. You're picking it up. Research using brain imaging suggests that people high in SPS tend to show stronger activity in regions linked to attention, awareness, and meaning-making, even when the information is subtle. Your brain isn't overreacting, it's processing more. And the same system that makes overload happen faster works the same way with positive input. Researchers call this vantage sensitivity. It means people high in SPS don't just respond more to stress and noise, they also respond more to the right conditions. A good mentor, a role that actually fits, a supportive environment. Where most people see improvement, you feel it faster. The person who hears one piece of clear feedback and immediately applies it. The employee who suddenly thrives when the job finally matches how they think. The student who looked average until the right teacher showed up. That isn't luck. That's the same system doing what it's designed to do. One nervous system, 2 outcomes. You're at a work happy hour. Everything's fine. People are laughing, talking, relaxed. Then, someone makes one offhand comment. Nothing dramatic, just a slight edge in their voice, and you carry it with you for the rest of the night. Not because you're looking for problems, not because you're sensitive on purpose, you felt it, before you had time to decide whether it mattered. Research suggests that people high in sensory processing sensitivity tend to show stronger responses in the brain's emotion processing regions when reading facial expressions and emotional cues. You don't just notice a mood. Your brain reacts to emotional signals more strongly, often faster than conscious thought. That's why a 2-hour dinner with friends can leave you more tired than a full day of work. You weren't just sitting at the table. Your brain was tracking everyone in the room. Their stress, their shifts in tone, what wasn't being said. That kind of attention costs energy. The exhaustion is real, and it makes sense. But here's the other side. That same sensitivity that drains you is also what makes people trust you, often without knowing why. You notice when someone says they're fine and means the opposite. You read a room quickly. You catch tension early before it turns into conflict. In workplaces that run on surface-level communication, that isn't a soft skill. It's accurate signal reading. The manager whose team quietly has the lowest turnover. The negotiator who senses where the conversation is going before it gets there. The teammate people go to, not for solutions, but to feel understood. That kind of perception doesn't come from training slides. It's hard to standardize, and it doesn't scale easily, because it isn't about technique. It's about how your nervous system processes other people. You're in a meeting. Someone pitches an idea, heads start nodding, and your brain is already several steps ahead. It sounds good, but what happens when the budget gets cut in Q3? How will existing customers react? What problem does this solve? And what new ones does it create? By the time you finish thinking, the room has moved on. And for a moment, you hesitate. Do I speak up and slow everyone down? Or stay quiet and watch a problem form? It can feel like overthinking, but research suggests something else may be happening underneath. People high in sensory processing sensitivity often show a deeper style of information processing. Brain imaging studies suggest that when they process information, regions linked to attention, planning, and decision-making tend to be more active. Your brain doesn't just take in information, it runs it through context, history, consequences, connections, all at once. Many brains prioritize speed and efficiency. Yours leans toward depth and integration. That depth is real, and so is the cost. More lanes burn more fuel. That isn't a character flaw, it's physics. If a regular Tuesday leaves you exhausted, it can feel like your brain has been running at full capacity all day. But in environments where complexity matters, where small details turn into big failures, the person running 8 lanes, they're the one who saw the issue before it surfaced. The colleague who spotted a hidden risk before a project collapsed. The designer who sensed confusion before complaints appeared. The manager who noticed burnout building before anyone said it out loud. Depth doesn't slow progress in those moments. It prevents expensive mistakes. So here's what all of this really means. You're not exhausted because you're weak, and you're not overwhelmed because you can't handle life. You're running a high-sensitivity system, and most modern environments weren't built for it. Psychology has a simple way to describe this: the dandelion and the orchid. Dandelions grow almost anywhere. They adapt easily. They ask very little from their environment. Orchids are different. In the wrong conditions, they struggle. Not because they're broken, but because fit matters more. Light matters. Context matters. Timing matters. So if you've spent years feeling drained or out of sync, that doesn't mean you were failing. It means the environment didn't match the system you were using. You don't need to be fixed. You just needed a clearer understanding of how you work. If this helped you see yourself a little differently, subscribe. There's more coming on the psychology of how we're actually wired. I'll see you in the next one.